Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
All right, shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua, Barakathon. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Bashem, Yahushua, to the brothers and sisters. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And this is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class, where we break down the scriptures from a linguistics perspective. A shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua, Barakathon. I see Zakar in the chat as always. Doing your thing. We teach blacks. We've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible since 1969. So if you got any questions or comments, you go and put them in the chat. You can get all your questions answered and all your problems solved. Something that your Christian pastors are ill-equipped to do. They've been ill-equipped to do it for the longest. That's why you see, Black, Hispanic, and Native American neighborhood destroyed. That's why you see no matter how many of us our oppressor takes the life of, and no matter how much they mass incarcerate us, no matter how much they march through our streets and show you how much they hate you, no matter how much, even though, they talk about how we should pick up ourselves from our bootstraps, or we should pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, or whatever the hell they say, and stop blaming white people for our problems. Meanwhile, you got after the tragic loss of Charlie Kirk, the first thing that they did was blame Black people. Immediately after the unaliving of Charlie Kirk, you find a young man, Trey Reed, hanging from a tree in Mississippi. So your oppressor is a hypocrite, and your Christian pastor is an advocate for hypocrisy. So that's why nothing changes in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. No matter what religion that you choose, no matter what fake Israelite group you choose, no matter what direction you go, that's why there's so much destruction in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, because that Christian church is full of hypocrisy. And even if you leave the Christian church and never step foot in a Christian church ever again, everywhere you go is Christianity and hypocrisy. You leave the Christian church and you still celebrate Christmas. You leave the Christian church and you still celebrate Thanksgiving. You leave the Christian church, you never step foot in a Christian church ever again. But then Charlie Kirk loses his life, and then every Black person gets online and is shedding alligator tears for Charlie Kirk. Christianity is all over the place. Christianity is all around you. You thought you escaped Christianity. Christianity is all around you, man. That's why your life is destroyed. But here in the ISUPK, we came to teach. We were sent by the Most High God. Finally, after so many years of us being in the Christian church, so many years of us being in this captivity, we were sent to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible. He finally revealed the truth according to the Bible to his servants, to the children of Israel who've been destroyed for so long. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I mean, your Christian church has destroyed us for so long that we don't know which way is up. Christian church has just destroyed us to the point we don't even realize that we're Christians. You know what I mean? So of course, before we even get brothers and sisters to even listen to a damn word that we got to say, we got to wrestle with you. We got to fight and battle with you. You know what I mean? We got to get likes and follows on social media for you to even look in the direction of the Lord's priests and prophets. You know what I mean? Because Christianity got a stranglehold on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? But that's the whole point of these classes. So if you got any questions, you got any comments, you go ahead and put them in the chat. And of course, if you're not watching this class live, or if you're watching on a you know what I mean, on a later date or whatever the case is, or if you just got to, you know what I mean, on just in general, you can always hit that QR code in that top corner, and morning, noon, and night, there'll be a brother in that chat to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. You know what I mean? Guarantee that if you give it a try. I mean, if you just roll the dice, you know what I mean, you rolled the dice with everything else. When you was in college, you rolled the dice with, you know what I mean, all the drugs that you did, sleeping with all the prostitutes that you were sleeping with. You know what I mean? You rolled the dice with that job. You rolled the dice with spring break. You rolled the dice with everything else. You know what I mean? In your adult life, you know what I mean, you didn't consider yourself a LGBTQ member, a bisexual or homosexual. You didn't consider yourself those things, but you rolled the dice. You know what I mean? With that LGBTQ life. You know what I mean? So roll the dice and hit that QR code, and maybe, just maybe, we are capable of answering all your questions and solving all your problems. But you just won't know until you hit that chat. All right? And that's all I could do for you. If you don't want help, then that's, you know what I mean, that's up to you. With that, we got the feast of the memorial of blowing of trumpets coming up this Saturday, or it's like not this Saturday, this Sunday at sundown. You know what I mean? September 21st. So we're going to go ahead and go into Leviticus 23, where we find all the feast days. Of course, you know what I mean? We got A Hammer in the chat. I mean, an avid listener, you know what I mean? An avid fan, you know what I mean? Always in the chat, just saying all manner of lies. You know what I mean? And this is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Christianity is everywhere. I mean, everybody, you know what I mean? Everything that, you know, I'll use A Hammer as an example. I mean, everything that A Hammer puts in the chat, it could be easily debunked. But it's just what's common. You know what I mean? Everybody relates Christianity to Islam, and I agree. Let me go ahead and put it on the screen, as a matter of fact. Everybody relates Christianity to Islam because they both was spread by the sword. I agree. Those are two evil religions. And because Christians use the Bible, everybody relates Christianity to the Bible. What you got to understand is Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible. That's the first thing you got to understand. You know what I mean? But since we was, you know what I mean, since we went through 400 years of captivity where they forced lies on us, you know what I mean? They forced lies on us. They forced this, you know what I mean, this hard, strenuous labor. They forced servitude on us. Then, you know what I mean, now fast forward to 2025, you can't price Christianity out of Black, Hispanic, and Native American hands. You know what I mean? But what you got to do is all you got to do is just look at the information. All you got to do is look at the information and just challenge the information. I'm gonna teach y'all Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans how to deal with somebody like A Hammer. All you got to do is just challenge. All you got to do is challenge their intellect. All you got to do is challenge what they're talking about. And what you're going to see is just a regurgitation of all the Christian rhetoric, all the Christian and Catholic rhetoric that they were trained to say, to teach. Because Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, all the different religions that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans like to go into, it's based on lies. So if you just question their logic, if you actually go into the Bible, like let me ask you a question, A Hammer. I'm gonna do a live clinic, right? You know what I mean? Show me in the Bible. Show me in the Bible where I'm wrong. Prove anything that I've said wrong. You're more than welcome. It's gonna be about an hour and a half, 2-hour class tonight. Anything that I say, you are more than welcome to show me where I'm wrong at. All right. So that's the question, A Hammer. You are more than welcome to show me anywhere where I'm wrong. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and move forward. And what you'll find with any Christian or with any Catholic or with any denomination of Christianity or Catholicism, any denomination of Islam or any other religion, anything, I mean, you're going to find that they're unable to prove what they're saying because it's based in lies. That's what you got to understand about Christianity and Catholicism and anything that's outside of this Bible. They can't prove it with the Bible, and everything that they say is an absolute lie. All right. We're going to go ahead into Leviticus 23. As most brothers and sisters probably already know, so lucky as I share my screen. As most brothers and sisters already know, so lucky, bear with me. Salakia. So as most brothers and sisters already know, this is where we get all the feast days in the Bible. Like I said before, Christianity celebrates. I mean, even if you're not in that Christian church, Christianity celebrates Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Halloween, New Year's, Valentine's Day. They find a way to spin it into, a way that they can bring these hallmark holidays into the Christian church, because as we already know, these hallmark holidays are a cash grab in America. And of course your Christian church, of course your Christian church don't want to miss out on that money. So even though Christmas ain't in the Bible for us to celebrate, actually, if you want to bring up Christmas, the Most High specifically tells us not to celebrate Christmas and describes Christmas to a T and why we shouldn't celebrate it. But the Christian church still celebrates Christmas. Thanksgiving, Easter, those things aren't in the Bible for us to celebrate. The Most High never told us to celebrate those things, yet you see those things celebrated in the Christian church. You name it, every Christian holiday, all the way down to Easter, because Christians hold dear to Easter and say that that's the most I guess the most holiest holiday in the Christian church, where everybody pull out they 3-piece suits and they slippery shoes and all of that. They pull out they Sunday best, as they call it. But when you look up the word Easter, because this is a linguistics class, I think A Hammer missed the point. He up in here just saying stuff, which is what Christians do. But this is a linguistics class. We deal with the language, something, and this is why I say this is something that your Christian pastor has been ill-equipped to do, because they pay no mind. They don't have no concern for the language, which is why we lost, which is why the Hispanics speak Spanish, which is why black people or so-called African Americans, we speak English. Jamaicans speak patois. Haitians speak forget what the Haitians speak. Salakia. We all divided by language. And then we look at one another. You know what I mean? You got the FBA, Foundational Black Americans. They divide themselves, you know what I mean, from the Hispanics, from the Caribbeans, from the Haitians, from the Native Americans. You know what I mean? Because we don't speak the same language, because we didn't grow up on the same land. It's all due to your oppressor. You know what I mean? But that's why the language is so important. And that's why when you see, I mean, that's why whenever we talking about the language, you see Christians like A Hammer, they get in the chat and start talking about everything but the language, because they have no interest in bringing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans together under one banner, under one language, under one culture. And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? But I mean, you look at the Christian church. You look at the Christian church, and they celebrate all these holidays. They celebrate Christmas. They celebrate Easter. They celebrate Thanksgiving. They celebrate, you know what I mean? You name it. Any religion that you see on that pagan calendar, and the Christian church is going to find some way, even if it defies everything that the Bible is about, that they claim to read from. They're going to find a way to bring it into the Christian church. I mean, don't say nothing about no Thanksgiving or no Halloween in the Bible. They don't say nothing about no St. Patrick's Day or no Columbus Day in the Bible. And even when it says Easter in the Bible, if you look at the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, it says that word should be the Passover. It's talking about the Passover. But of course, your Christian pastors aren't interested in language. You know what I mean? But you see that the Christian church celebrates all those things. And then Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, there is a mass exodus of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out of the Christian church. I mean, we are dropping a Christian church. I mean, there's a whole bunch. You ask any Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and they're going to say that they are spiritual. Hardly any Christian is going to say, oh, I'm a Baptist, or I'm a Episcopal, or they're not going to claim the denomination of Christianity. Most, especially young Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, most of them believe in a higher power, you know what I mean, as they say. But they're going to say, I'm spiritual. It's because we've heard or we've seen the lies that's been taught in that Christian church. And we don't want nothing to do with the Christian church. But what you don't understand about that Christian church is, once you leave the Christian church, what do you take with you? You're going to take Christian values. You know what I mean? You're going to, when somebody questions your belief in the Most High, you're going to respond like a Christian. You know what I mean? You're going to celebrate, even though you're not in a Christian church, you're going to celebrate Christmas. You're going to eat shellfish. You're going to eat pork. You know what I mean? You're going to celebrate, you know what I mean? You're going to pull up to church, even though you ain't been to church all year, you're going to pull up to church on Easter. You know what I mean? Even though you don't do nothing the Bible say, you're going to feel obligated to go to church on Sunday. We take Christianity with us. You know what I mean? But this is one thing that your Christian pastor has never taught you. So, like, let me see who's. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put this link in the chat. Let me help y'all out. And anybody online, y'all go ahead and join the chat. Y'all can go ahead and join the live stream and ask any question that you like to in the chat. All right, now I'll add you to the stage. But if I add you to the stage, you got to act like you got some sense. All right? You know what I mean? That's like you. But that's the whole point of Leviticus 23. Because even if you leave the Christian church, because you see that, oh, it ain't no, you know what I mean, Christmas ain't in the Bible. Christmas, when you see Christmas in the Bible, it says don't celebrate Christmas. You know what I mean? Jeremiah. All right? It says don't celebrate Christmas in Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, I believe. When you know what I mean? Thanksgiving ain't in the Bible. I mean, the holiday Thanksgiving, the word Thanksgiving is in the Bible, but it's not pertaining to the holiday Thanksgiving that that Americans keep in America. You know what I mean? You see all of those things. You see all of those lies that you see in the Christian church. You know what I mean? So what we do is leave the Christian church. But once you leave the Christian church, you don't have anything to replace it with. You don't have anything to actually go to. Right? So what you end up doing is just celebrating Christmas, but not going to the Christian church. Celebrating Thanksgiving, but calling it what do we call it? It's not about the unaliving of Native Americans. It's just what it means to me. That's what it becomes. You know what I mean? You celebrate Christmas, but it's not about Christmas. It's about what it means to you and your kids. You don't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's about what it means to you and your kids. It's not about you know what I mean? You don't celebrate Easter. It's just what it means to you and your kids. But you know what I mean? Same with every other holiday that you keep. What you don't realize is you keep the same customs. You do the same things that everybody else do. You know what I mean? You're no different. But Leviticus 23 has everything that the Most High gave us from the beginning. Most High gave us feast days and holidays and high holy days, Salakia, not holidays, but high holy days. If you want to call them that, Salakia. If you want to call them that, but the Most High gave us, you know what I mean, high holy days for us to keep and for us to follow. Salakia. See, Salakia, I'm just sharing the class real quick. But the Most High gave us high holy days. All right. And this is what your oppressors are not going to teach you. This is what your, you know what I mean? This is what your Christian church ain't going to teach you. I mean, it's right there in the Bible. It's right there. You know what I mean? We're going to go into it. It's right there in the Bible. All of these feast days, all of these high holy days is right there in the Bible. But you'll never hear about these things in the Christian church. You'll never hear about these things from A. Hammer. You know what I mean? Who's a coward. You know what I mean? But you'll hear about Christmas. I mean, A. Hammer, let me ask you a question. You celebrate Christmas? You celebrate Christmas? You celebrate what is it today? September. Yeah, October coming up. You celebrate Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all of that. You celebrate all those things? Yeah, I just need a yes and no. We gonna see Christianity work, Zakarawan. I mean, I know you rocking with me in the chat. I mean, you're gonna see Christianity work because I just asked A. Hammer a direct yes or no question, and he's not gonna answer with a yes or no question. He's not gonna answer with a yes or no. But what he's gonna do is answer with the same Christian and Catholic rhetoric that he was trained to answer with. I mean, because he's a liar, and he's trained with the same Christian dogma, same Christian doctrine that he was taught from a little child when somebody probably, violated him. I mean, so that's the problem with the Christian church. But we're gonna give you the real right here. Let me see. Let me get me out the way. Let me expand the scriptures. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up in the English as well. Salaki, just bear with me as I pull this up. I'm gonna read it in English real quick before I go into the Hebrew. All right. So Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying to them concerning the feast of the Lord. Not concerning the holidays, not concerning Christmas, not concerning Easter, and whatever fake holiday that this Christian church celebrates and keeps and demands that you keep. You know what I mean? Everybody's fine with celebrating a fat white man coming down a chimney that you don't have. You know what I mean? Some strange fat white man that you don't know coming down a chimney you don't have. Everybody's fine with that. But the moment you say you don't celebrate Christmas, everybody's going to gasp and look at you like you crazy. Like it's something wrong with you. The moment you stop celebrating some bunny that lays eggs somehow, even though bunnies don't lay eggs, they run around laying chocolate eggs. The moment that you say, I'm not celebrating that nonsense, they're going to gasp and ostracize you. The moment that you say that you're not celebrating the unaliving of thousands of Native Americans by the hands of your oppressor for Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? The Christian church is going to gasp and ostracize you. Your family is going to gasp as if something's wrong with you and ostracize you. You know what I mean? But none of that's in the Bible. It says, speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. I mean, he said, these shall be holy convocations. Holy means separate. I mean, so these things that we celebrate, no one else will celebrate. And that's the problem. That's the allure of Christmas. That's the allure of Thanksgiving and Easter and all these religions. You know what I mean? That's the allure of being a Muslim. That's the allure of being Catholic. That's the allure of being Jewish, where you wear a yarmulke, you know what I mean, on the crown of your head. You know what I mean? Which the Most High said don't do. That's the allure of loving everybody. That's the allure of interracial marriage. That's the allure of the LGBTQ community, which the Most High said not to do, because everybody's going to do those things. But the Most High said, which ye shall proclaim to be holy. See, everybody's going to do the things that you do. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to do the things that you do. Everybody's going to celebrate your Christmas. Everybody's going to celebrate Hanukkah, or not Hanukkah, the Jewish man's Hanukkah. You know what I mean? Not Hanukkah. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to celebrate Thanksgiving coming up. Everybody's going to celebrate Halloween. Everybody's going to be dressed like some whore kitty cat or some damn you know what I mean, some superhero or something like that. Everybody's gonna go out to the costume party coming up in a couple weeks and get as drunk as possible and high as possible. And you know what I mean? You're gonna have some brother dressed as Batman sleeping with goddamn a million sisters is gonna be dressed like Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? That's the allure of all these holidays, that everybody's doing it. You know what I mean? And you're gonna feel like, even though you know that it's wrong to celebrate these things, even though you know it's wrong to celebrate these things, you're going to feel compelled to celebrate these things, because that's the whole point. You do it because that's what ain't that what the you know what I mean? Ain't that what your aunties and your uncles and your grandparents and your mothers and your fathers say? Oh, you grew up eating pork. Or you grew up eating shellfish. What's wrong with pork and shrimp, crab, and lobster now? Or you always celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving. You ain't had no problem eating the baked mac and cheese. You ain't got no problem eating the turkey. You always did this. That's what they're going to say. That's the allure of it. That's the whole point. But the Most High said these are going to be holy convocations. Holy means separate. That's what the word holy means. But it just means, it means that only you and your family are going to celebrate these things. Let's see if we got anybody brave enough to join the live stream. I mean, let's see when I put that link in the chat. A Hammer, he stopped commenting. I wonder why. I wonder why Christians lose their courage when they confronted with the truth. I wonder why. But these are holy convocations. These are holy to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, meaning only Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can do these things. A Black person can convert to being Jewish. A Black person can convert to being a Muslim. A black person can convert to being Buddhist, Hindu, what's it called? Scientologist. A black person can convert to being all these different things, but nobody can convert to being an Israelite. That's just impossible. You can't convert to being an Israelite because these belong to a family. These holy days, these laws, statutes, and commandments, these, the covenants, that the Most High gave, they belong to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And nobody can, can try to wiggle their way into the culture of our people. Like they try to integrate us, or we try to integrate into their culture. Nobody can integrate into being an Israelite, right? Unless you're a black, Hispanic, and Native American. Unless you fit these curses, unless you, unless you fit these curses, unless you are the people that pertain to this Bible. All right. Where are we at? Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. All right, so let's go ahead and get some. So of course this is linguistics class. All right. So what I want y'all to focus on is pulling out some of these sight words. All right, and that's why I went to the English first. Of course, we're gonna read this on Sunday. When we do the feast day, when we do the Sabbath service for the feast day. But what I want brothers and sisters to do is to pull out the sight words. All right. And we're going to read some of these sight words. So we're going to read it in English and I'll translate them in Lashawan Qadash. And then we'll go into Bible Hub to see it in the Hebrew. And we'll go into the concordance and all of that. All right. So we'll take it line by line. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, all right, so this is the first line. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, so and is a preposition, the is a preposition, but we'll get into it in a second. This is also a phrase. Well, I'll just go straight to it. So this is a phrase that we should be real familiar with, right? Because we always see it. We always see it no matter when the Most High is speaking to a prophet, it starts with Wayadabar Yahweh. Wayadabar, and he spake, who spake? The Most High. And he spoke, who spoke? The Most High. Wayadabar Yahweh, all means two. Two, who is he speaking to? And then you insert the prophet. So this word unto will be replaced by the Hebrew word all, which is ah and la next to each other. We'll get it in a second, but I just want to point it out real quick. So this phrase right here is Wayadabar Yahweh all, and then you fill in the blank with the prophet. So Wayadabar Yahweh all, you might have knock, and the Lord spake unto Noah, knock. And the Lord spake unto Abraham, Abraham, Wayadabar Yahweh all, Abraham. And the Lord spake unto Adam, Adam, or I believe it's Adam. And the Lord spake unto Isaac, Wayadabar Yahweh al Yatazah. And the Lord spake unto Jacob, Wayadabar Yahweh al Yaiquab. And the Lord spake unto, you get the point. In this case, and the Lord spake unto Moses. Moses is Mashah. Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashah. Right? Saying La Amar. Right? Or the literal translation is Wayadabar. And he spoke Yahweh, which is who's speaking. Wayadabar Yahweh, and he spoke Yahweh to give the context. Right? Al Mashah, to Moses. Right? La Amar is meaning to say. Right? So that's the first phrase. And you'll see that all over. So, and of course, we'll get into it in a second, but I just wanted to break that down real quick and just do a crash course, because it's something, again, you're going to see it constantly. All right. Speak unto the children of Israel, Dabar al-Banya Yasharala. All right. And this is another part that you want to add to your sight words. This whole phrase is what you want to add to your sight words. All right. Everything I just said a second ago, you want to add it to your sight words. Let me go back to the home screen, make sure no more questions or comments. All right. There are no questions or comments. I'm assuming that everybody's on the same page and that this is something that we've gone over before and that everybody understands it. All right. If that's incorrect for me to assume, then let me know, Baba Kasha, so that we can go back and go over it. You know what I mean? Which we're gonna touch on it in a second, but I'm gonna assume that everybody understands it, and then I'm gonna go for it because it's a lot to go over. You know what I mean, and if you already know it, I don't want to waste your time. All right, but what would be beneficial to you is to what would be beneficial to you is to commit this to just muscle memory. You know what I mean? The first two verses, or the first two verses, it will be beneficial to you to commit it to muscle memory. So Wayad Dabar, Yahweh Al Mashallah Amar, that'll help you out a lot because again, you can plug in, you can see this constantly. You're gonna see it about 5 times, I believe, in this chapter alone. You're gonna see it Wayad Dabar, Yahweh Al Mashallah Amar. You'll see it constantly over and over in this chapter alone. But you'll see it in previous chapters. You'll see it over and over. And the only thing that'll change is the prophet. You'll see it later, you know what I mean, later books, the book of Joshua, in the book of Numbers, in the book of Judges, in the book of, you know what I mean, you'll see it in later books where the Most High is speaking to a prophet, where Yadabar, Yahweh Al, plug in the prophet, La Amar, and the Most High spoke to such and such to say, right? And then this part in verse 2, speak unto the children of Israel. It's always Dabar al Banya Yasharala. Speak unto the children. So it says the children, but the word is Banya, right? Ban means son. Ya at the end is to denote possession. It's just to show possession or ownership. Right. So it's like to say my sons. Like the Most High is saying, speak to my sons. All right. The sons of who? Of Israel. Sons of Israel is the children that he claimed as is the, you know what I mean, his, that he's going to make a nation out of. You know what I mean, you had Abraham that he chose, then Isaac, and then Jacob that he chose. Jacob's name was turned to Israel, and then his 12 sons had children, and then that became the nation that the Most High decided to be his representation on the earth. All right. So when you see Banya Yasharala, sons of Israel, you know what I mean, that's what that's talking about. And it says, when it says the children, it says the children in the English, but in the Hebrew, it says sons, because the Most High deals with the men. I mean, the Most High deals with one man that deals with the men in the nation, like Moses in this case. The Most High dealt with Moses. Moses spoke to Aaron. Aaron spoke to the men. I believe it was men of renown, or I can't remember the specific verbiage that was used in the Bible, but said the men of renown, or the men of we'll go with that, men of renown. You know what I mean, that was given authority over the congregation. So Moses spoke to the Most High spoke to Moses. Moses spoke to Aaron, like General Mayak said at the beginning. You know what I mean, the Most High would be to Moses instead of Moses would be unto Aaron instead of a God, and Aaron will be unto Moses instead of a mouth. You know what I mean? The Most High spoke to Moses. Moses spoke to Aaron. Aaron spoke to the men. The men spoke to the people. You know what I mean? But that's why it's written that way. You know what I mean? Banya Yasharala. All right. And say unto them, say, I believe, is Amar. Unto is all. Them is hum. So al hum. Unto them. Amar al hum. Concerning the feast. I can't remember a feast off the top of my head, but we're gonna learn it. I believe it's Mawa'idya, the Lord Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy. Holy is Qadash. Convocations is, I believe, Qadash 1, but we'll look at it. Even these are my feasts. Feast is Mawa'id, I believe. Let's go ahead and look at it. Salaki, let's go ahead and look at it in Hebrew. All right, so Wayadabar, Yahweh al Mashallah Amar. This is what I was talking about a second ago. I mean, I don't want to go into another long-winded breakdown. You get the point. Salaki. Good night. You get off the damn phone. All right, Wayadabar, Yahweh al Mashallah Amar. We already did the whole breakdown on that. Salaki, what the hell? All right. All right, the next part, Debar al Banya Yasharala. All right. Debar al Banya Yasharala. Debar means speak. Al means two. Banya means sons. The ya at the end, ban means son. The ya at the end is to show possession. All right. You'll see that ya at the end of nations. All right. Names of nations like Israel is Yasharala. Yasharala Yah is Israelite, because these people that come from this person belong to this nation. I mean, Moab, Mawa'ab. To say Moabite, Mawa'ab Yah. That Yah is to denote possession. All right. Israel, we just said, is Yasharala, which is right here. All right. Wa Amartha. So Amar is the root word. Amar means to say, like we saw in the previous verse. Amar means to say. Wa means and. So wa Amar and say. Tha means you. So the Most High is telling Moses to do something. And you say to them, which brings us to the next phrase. Al hum. I told you previously, all means two. Hum means them. Right? Al hum. So wa amartha, and you say to them. Right? So the Most High is giving Moses instructions. And the Most High spake to Moses to say, speak to the sons of Israel, and you say to them, right? Mawa'id, right? Mawa'id is feast. And then the Yah, like I said before, shows possession. All right, Mawa'id is feast. All right, all of these words that we going over, you should log as sight words. You should write them down. I mean, so that you can be more fluent, because come this Sunday, we're gonna be reading from Leviticus 23. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be reading from Leviticus 23, and we're going to have to read what's on the screen right now. It's lucky. Let's see if I can get back to it. But we're going to have to read this, you know what I mean, on Sunday, on the 21st. And if you're a priest, especially, you know what I mean, or you're an aspiring priest, then you should expect to be called. You should expect to notice. So lucky. All right, so Mawa'id is feast. Mawa'id Yah is my feast. Whose feast? And what you'll notice is that the subject of who's speaking will usually come after, or the who's in possession will come after the item or the thing that's being possessed. So lucky. But that's the pattern that you'll see. All right. So, like we saw in right here, Banya Yasharala. Banya is first, and then whose sons or who these sons belong to comes after. So Banya is first, and then who these sons belong to comes after Yasharala. All right. And it's the same here. Mawa'id Yah is the feast. Whose feast? Yahweh, the Most High's feast. All right. And then Ashar, which it's a word that you're going to see constantly. That which pertaining to, that which pertaining to, you'll see Ashar, which is, again, why your fake Israelite groups, they think that the Most High's name is Ashar, Ahaya, Ashar. You know what I mean? Just not understanding. I mean, they would understand if they would just come to class, if they would just come to the home of the truth and stay in the home of the truth. I mean, of course, they would understand, like every trooper and every young man and every sister understands. I mean, I know you understand that, Zakarwan. You know what I mean? But every brother and sister, or every brother and sister in the fake Israelite group, they would understand that Ashar isn't the Most High's name, just like, you know what I mean, Zakarwa understands, just like every trooper, every sister, every officer of 50 understands that, but because they left the home of the truth, or they was raised under somebody who left the home of the truth, you know what I mean, it's a lot of brothers and sisters who don't understand us, so now they walk around calling the Most High Ashar, Ahaya, Ashar, which is absolutely incorrect. All right. So Tha Kora'awa. So Tha is you. Kwara'a is call. Kwara'a is call. All right. You're going to see Kwara'a often. Call. All right. And then the wa at the end is to say he, his, or it. In this case, it's it. All right. So Tha Kora'awa. You call it. Right? Or in the English, it says, you shall proclaim to be. Salakia. You shall proclaim to be. Almost said the English. To call. A thumb. which is y'all in the Hebrew. Then ma quara wa. Lucky. Ma quara wa. So quara here is the same as it was here. So ma or salaki. So quara is the root word, which means call. Ma is of or from. So of or from call. Now, as we notice, ma at the beginning pretty much changes it tends to change the root word completely. So ma quara. So ma quara goes from call or from a calling salaki to convocation, which is a day that the Most High called us to come together. So instead of saying from or of call, you would say convocation. All right. So ma quara is convocation, and then the ya, of course, as we just went over a second ago. As a matter of fact, I'll let y'all tell me. Y'all tell me in the chat, what does that ya at the end mean? You know what I mean? Like we just went over a second ago. What does that ya at the end mean? And I know the default answer that you're going to want to give just before y'all answer it. I know the default answer you're going to give. You're not incorrect, but I want the specific answer that I just gave in the last couple minutes of this class, or for the past few minutes, actually, where I've been doing this class. I want you to tell me what that ya at the end means specifically in this context. All right. I know y'all brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? I know y'all know the beginner answer, but y'all in the intermediate on the intermediate level at this point. I mean, we've been going over the same thing for the past couple years. You know what I mean? I know y'all in the intermediate level now. All right. I'm gonna give y'all a second to go ahead and put that in the chat. In the meanwhile, we'll go ahead and move forward. All right, but don't forget that question. Go ahead and put it in the chat if you already know. And if you don't know, you know I mean, I'll give you a little bit more time, but if you don't know, you should, you know what I mean? That means you should lock in, you know what I mean? Because these are things that you should know. I know a couple of y'all brothers and sisters are new, so I can cut y'all some slack, but it's a couple brothers and sisters that's been here for a while. And this ain't like Leviticus, this ain't the first time or the second or the third time we've been over Leviticus 23. I mean, we have, what is it? How many feast days we got? We got plenty of feast days. You know what I mean? We got plenty of feast days in our calendar. You know what I mean? At least 7. I'll give it 7. You know what I mean? Especially in September. I think in September, we got like 3 back to back. I mean, some brothers have been in the truth about, you know what I mean, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. So, you know what I mean? We go over this this Leviticus 23, you know what I mean, in the Hebrew over and over and over again for the past, you know what I mean, almost a decade for some brothers and sisters. So you should know what this Yah means at the end. All right. Qadash, of course, is holy. Of course, I'm gonna give y'all a second to get that what that Yah means in this specific context. But I mean, Qadash means holy or separate. You can go in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and look up the word holy, and it'll tell you it means separateness. I mean, set apart. Allah means these Allah. So Allah, not to be mixed up with Allah meaning power, which is Ah and La next to each other. If this right here. And a lot of times, like, okay, speaking of Hebrew is like speaking, it's just like speaking how we speak to one another. Like you speak Hebrew or you speak English to one another to catch what somebody's talking about. You gotta understand the context. Like if you walk in the middle of a black man's conversation, you might not understand exactly what the brother or sister is talking about. But You know what I mean? If you understand the context, then a brother could say, like, you know what I mean? This is an easy example. Hot. Hot can mean plenty of different things. Now, if I say it's hot outside, so it's getting hot outside. Every brother that's in the chat, you ain't even got to tell me. Every brother in the chat know what the hell I'm talking about. If I say, look, it's hot outside, so it's getting hot outside, so it's hot outside, so it's getting hot outside, so it's about to get hot outside. Every brother know what the hell I'm talking about. Now, you're getting hot, so it's hot. You know what I mean? Now, other people might not know, but we know, or a brother could say, oh, this sister hot. Like Captain Cotters, I say all the time, you know what I mean? A brother say, this sister hot. The Edom might roll up and say, what you mean hot? Oh, that means she cold. Hot and cold, how can hot and cold mean the same thing? I mean, if you speak in our language, you would just have to, a lot of our words, I said that to say a lot of our words may look the same on paper, but if you understand the context, then you might understand how, you'll be able to understand how these words are pronounced or what they mean in their proper context. Like if I say Allah, you know what I mean, depending on what I'm talking about, like if I say Allah, if I'm talking about power, or if I'm talking about an angel or a messenger or someone or someone in authority, you know that I mean Allah in that context. But if I say Allah and I'm talking about these, then you'll just know the context. You'll know what I'm talking about based on the context. Or like what we was talking about before, we also saw these two things. I don't know if y'all can see what I got highlighted, but the character ah and la next to each other, it could be pronounced all, like we got up here, like we got previously up here, all. Now you know that that's pronounced all instead of Allah, even though it looks like Allah, even though it looks like it should be pronounced Allah. You know that it's pronounced all because of the context, right? So the Hebrew is no different than speaking English or speaking Spanish or speaking whatever language you speak. You know what I mean? It's no different. You know what I mean? Just look at the context. If you look at the context, you know it's being said. You know how it should be said. You know how it should be understood. All right. All right. I don't see no responses. You know what I mean? I'm a little discouraged. No, I'm playing. I'm just messing with y'all. But I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna go back a little bit. So this ya at the end of mawa or slaki ma kora ah ya is just to show possession. All right. Because these feast days or these convocations, these holy convocations belong to the children of Israel because the Most High says so. So that Yah at the end is to show possession. Is Yah at the end, just to answer the question, is Yah at the end shows, it does three things, right? It shows, it means me, my, it means me or my. It shows possession or belonging to. All right. So we went over Qadash, holy, Allah, these, hum. So Allah, hum, these, those, or these, them, ma wa'id, yeah, my feast. Ma wa'id is feast. Ya at the end just means me or my. All right. Lucky. Let me see what we got. All right, let me see how much we got. Oop. All right, no sweat. All right, with that, we're gonna go ahead and leave it right there. We're gonna go ahead and leave it right there. I'm real disappointed in A Hammer as well. I thought he had a little bit more heart than that. I mean, we didn't put the link in the chat. I mean, and I didn't ask the man a couple questions. I mean, asked the man a couple questions. You know, I mean, he brought some claims as he always does in the chat. So I done asked him to back up what he was saying with facts. You know, I mean, I put the link in the chat, and of course, you know, I mean, Christianity. Once you challenge a Christian, you just saw it live. You know what I mean? You just saw it live. Once you ask a Christianity to prove what they're saying, then they're gonna run. You know what I mean? But make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share it with your loved ones, whether you agree or disagree or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? You can always hit that QR code at the top corner. And morning, noon, and night, there'll be a brother in that chat to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. I mean, make sure you tune in to ISUPK in whatever zone that you in, whatever respective city and state that you in. And go to the feast of the memorial of blowing the trumpets. You know what I mean? That's what's coming up September 21st, which is this Sunday. You know what I mean? Make sure you get locked in. Make sure you get in contact with your camp leader in whatever city, state, or zone that you in, a country. You know what I mean? Get in contact with your camp leader. And then, you know what I mean, we'll get you squared away. With that, we'll go ahead and say Shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua, Barakatham to all the brothers. And Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Latham, Bashem, Yahushua, all the sisters.